Your microphone. I was going to say your microphone sounds a bit muffled. Just say hello again.
Let me fix it up because I'm using that should be better now. Are we good?
Yeah. Good morning, everyone.
Oh.
I have 3 different colors on my chart today. Yes.
Hell yeah, getting fancy with this shit. Morning, Melinda. Morning, boys. And ladies. Mauricio, I just had a fantastic hour talking with James about quant nerd stuff. We just got like ridiculously nerdy. I'll send you the recording.
All right, that would be awesome, man. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, he's coming to Bangkok, and we're going to spend a couple of days teaching quant stuff.
Awesome. That's
Mm.
great. That's fantastic.
Yeah, it's gonna be good, dude. It's gonna be good.
I'll contact you though. After that, I'll be interested.
Yeah. Yep. We're gonna record it all, get a cameraman in, it'll all be there for you. So
awesome.
Yep.
The first ever quant seminar in a Bangkok soy strip club.
Well, James is quite keen about going out for a bit of a boys' night afterwards, so that's the draw. And we're meeting. We're friends with a bunch of like serious portfolio managers. One of them's a portfolio manager for Paul Tudor Jones. Well, actually, 2 of them are portfolio managers for Paul Tudor Jones. Like that level of guy. And
degenerates then.
Yeah. So they're beyond degenerates. Like, so I'm gonna take him out on the Terps and fill them full of truth serum and find out what the fuck they're doing. Morning, Paul. Morning, John. Morning, John W. Sorry about dunking on you, bro. It's not personal. I'm really sorry about that. I actually felt bad about it. All right. So Mauricio or Ian, which of you guys want to kick it off? I don't want to queer the pot.
Mine only takes 2 minutes before the serious people come in. All right,
You want to be doing everything to tie strippers. I've experienced, like, I mean, for those of us who live here, like Ian and I live here, that stuff is the most boring thing you can possibly do. Like it's the same conversation 100. What your name? Where you from? You're so good looking.
You want to play Connect 4?
Oh, bitch. Where you from? Where the fuck do you think? From Madhya Pradesh, Australia. Crap. Oh, you speak Thai really good. No, Pastor Tiny no crap. How long have you been here? How big crap? It's like this inane, idiot, toddler conversation that you have again and again and again, and it just makes you nervous.
So hard segging this. All right. So all right. Here we are on the Bitcoin daily chart then. So the first thing I want to do before we get into any hypothesizing, this blue circle here, if everybody can see it. So around about this candle formation, that's when you called it, Scott, when you said XYZ, let's get in. Now,
and you said, and you guys were all saying the opposite, right?
Well, no.
Not the opposite. We got the probability.
The other level. So this second candle, right? Well, this is just the difference between a master trader and somebody who's
I'm not a master trader. I just had a feeling in my butthole.
Yeah. I was looking for a close. I was looking for a retest. I'm always looking for these retests. I'm always looking for.
Well, that is a retest. That's a weekly chart retest, right?
This is the daily chart. So that's the candle that we broke through, and then it was this candle that you called it, and then I wanted to wait a second day. I wanted to see the retest of it from there. So that was just a singular point whilst we were looking at the chart. That's how one person can see things quicker than another person can, but both people are still technically right. How
So
you go
this is
about
the advantage of price action is when you're reading the price as opposed to classical TA, you're seeing at a higher granularity. So you're generally seeing things quicker. It's not necessarily better, it's just quicker.
Exactly. So all of my colors here are just resistance areas and little zones, and then I just have a simple line that tells me that there's a downtrend. So just focusing out a little bit more then. Are we in a trend or are we in a trading range? The first question that we ask ourselves every time. And I think it's quite clearly that we're in a trading range. And we've broken out to roughly the halfway point of the trading range. We've met up with some previous resistance, and now we are solidifying a position here. The solidification of the position here is what is going to allow us to 50% go up or 50% go down. Or we could tweak it a bit more, because I don't want to say 50% will keep going sideways, because this range here, this new thing, you could call it a flag, you could call it a flip-flop. It's just two lines that I've drawn.
I think you need to go further. If we're in a range, you should expect series of one up, one down, one up, one down, one up, one down, two up, one down. It should be a bit choppy. And I think that's what we're seeing now. So I think your thesis is correct. The evidence is that's what's happening. When we're about to break out of the range, you're going to get clues that we're going to start to get series of white bars in a row. We're going to get bars where each bar can't break the low of the previous bar. We're going to get closes at or near the highs several days in a row. And we haven't quite got that yet, have we?
No, we haven't quite got that yet. But going back to this retest that I mentioned at the start, it's my hypothesis, because we've already retested successfully this downtrend line, I'm not seeing that we get a crazy wick, because we don't need to retest something that we've already retested. So I'm seeing this kind of sideways action here as this is what we're doing. And then we'll get clues from here, whether we're going to go up and retest the range high, which we haven't done yet. Since we broke into here and we went up to the range high, we haven't been able to retest it yet. So it might be, boom, that we shoot for the stars and then get here and then we reassess. If I had to, without looking at further evidence from this, I'm going to say I think we are 60 that we go that way and 40 that we go that way. Because of that, because we've already got that retest. I'm not seeing that we're going to have these crazy ass wicks that are gonna come down from there. That doesn't mean that we won't go to the bottom of the range again. It doesn't mean that we won't go to the top of the range again. And these blue lines, okay, the cumulative average amount of time post-halving before we hit the exponential phase is roughly about 150 days. So that's all that maps out, and it's just like a
Dude, I don't think that's a real thing. I don't think that you can say that because something happened 3 times, it's going to happen on the 4th time. I think that's like saying it rained the last 3 Tuesdays, it's going to rain tomorrow. I think you're on if there is an effect, it's probably been pre-adjusted for, and that's probably why we're lower, is because people were expecting that and aped in earlier. I think you're on very shaky ground assuming stuff from the halving.
That's interesting, yeah. Because I wanted to
either way, up or down.
Yeah.
Because we got a lot of halving buyers who are now butthurt and disappointed and angry, right? And that changes the game somewhat, doesn't it? I was told there would be Lambos. Where the fuck are my Lambos?
Yeah, where are they?
Like John W. Where the fuck is my Lambo? It's been 7 weeks, cunt.
Exactly.
So, and we were all expecting it. I was expecting it. certainly didn't want to be short into the halving. Didn't happen.
No, I didn't want to be short into the halving. Now, I wasn't expecting that we would go to the moon the day after the halving. That's why
I thought there'd be, I thought that
Yeah.
I'm a bit like you too. I thought there'd be a
Yeah.
gap and we'd figure it out. And maybe that still happens. But I just don't, I think, you know, gun to cock, how much you're willing to bet on that?
Oh, absolutely fuck all. Absolutely fuck all. So what I was trying to look for was something that's happened before, more than once, that is not guaranteed to happen again, but could provide some kind of indicator or information for us. So that was the that was the plotting of this second line. So I don't think we'll get to this second line. And whee, that's just 150 days is just the average time of post of all of the halvings before we go into the exponential phase. And yeah, that's my that's my jibber jabber.
Pretty interesting. Pretty interesting.
I have a good chart to show you, Ian, and according to that theory, and it looks okay though from that perspective, but it's a visuals of that. If you guys wanna, I can go through it. Let me show you this because it's quite interesting. Let me just share my screen. You guys see my screen?
Damn.
Yeah.
In terms in that, I found this this one. This is the Bitcoin index performance since halving from all the years, right? So the black line right here, that's just starting. I can turn this off and I just leave the.
Oh wow, that's so cool, man.
Yeah, it is cool, really cool. So you have the 2024 that just started after halving, but if you start comparing with other halvings, now we are here. Have a look. This one here, the orange, which is the 2012 halving, it had a drop, like immediate drop after the halving. Like, look at this. Well, let me zoom out. All right, so
what that's showing is that the halving was a real thing, but people were expecting it, so they front ran it. So they brought the expected post halving down, and then they took it. So there is something in what Ian's saying about the 150
Yep.
days. It's just not because of that. It's because it takes time to absorb the front running that people were expecting.
Exactly, and I agree. And the best sort of ramp up halving was in 2000, the one 2012, 2016, and you can see like a steady rise after the halving, but all like the 2016 and 12, which people already know, so to speak. So I think it could be a high possibility that this could be really choppy, and then around these levels, which will be, yeah, around what you say, and around 100, like these 100 days. This will be 150 days roughly, give or take, and that's when last halving sort of start picking up, right? And in here, so it could be choppy, but if you look at the behavior, like this, I really like this chart because you can actually see the behaviors of the Bitcoin returns, you know, since halving, like the comparisons, like side by side. So I do see that it could be choppy around these levels, and it's going to get interesting around the 100th day. So we still have time to see a lot of choppiness around it. This, you know,
and we certainly don't have any negative from the halving. It has never been a negative thing, right? Also, the other thing that I think you have to take into account is in these early days, the miners were the main game in town. They were the big swinging dick around markets. Now they're not that big.
No, you're right. I think game has changed because now you have all the institutional flows into it, right? And they can drive the market. That's right. They could actually drive a lot of the volume in. So
I was talking to James about this and today, and we were talking about the big problem with crypto is why we make so much more money than we do running the same strategies on other markets is because your backtesting isn't worth shit, because our 2018 market is nothing like the 2020 market with DeFi summer. 2020 was nothing like 2021. 2021 with the VC pump and dump liquidity bullshit. 2022 with Sam going broke was nothing like 2023. At 2024, we've got lots of institutional quants coming back, alphas decaying. We've got weird hedging dynamics with the new Pendle and ENA and shit like that. You just can't take anything that happened in the past as being a guarantee of what's happening in the future. And there's a technical term for that, which Nassim Taleb talks about in his books, called non-stationarity. Non-stationarity is when the past stops being a guide to the future. So the perfect example of that is that German bondholders, German government bonds, were one of the safest instruments in the world till 1945. Japanese stock market was the fastest growing stock market until they lost the World War II, went to fucking zero. Like the past stopped. The past stopped being a guide to the future, right? And it doesn't necessarily have to happen in that same dramatic way, but certainly we can see that this ain't your granddaddy's market.
Correct. I agree. Which is makes it really tough to trade. You know what I mean? Like
it makes it more profitable to trade because the sort of unsophisticated traders who look at the past and oh, it's happened in the past, therefore it has to happen in the future. They can't play this game. The game is just got more. I quote Omar Little in The Wire. The game is not Omar Little. What was his name? The leader. He said, "The game is the game. It just got more fierce." Like the game gets more fierce every year. This is the nature of zero-sum games. Like they just get fiercer and fiercer and fiercer. You have to be better.
I got to find his name. I think it's Marlon, isn't it?
Yep.
From The Wire. The game is the game.
The game is the game.
Marlo. I got to get his name.
Marlo. No, not Marlo. He was the last one. Who was the good guy? The really cool kid.
Marlo Stanfield is the bad guy. Let's get
Slim Charles. The game is game. I love Slim Charles.
Slim Charles.
There you go, Perry. How good is The Wire? One of my mentors, Ewan Sinclair. He's like top 5 options traders in the world, and he's always quoting The Wire, and he's teaching me trading stuff. He's like, he's quoting Marlo Stansfield. You want it to be one way, but it's the other way. You want it to be one way, but it's the other way. It's like, you know.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, there was a line that you said in the last call. Your feelings are not facts.
Well, your feelings are the source of edge. All this behavioral stuff is from taking on risk other people don't want to take. And this is important to understand. Like intuitively, when our system hit all-time highs, when Bitcoin was at all-time equity highs, when Bitcoin hit all-time equity highs, the instinct that everyone has is, I'm a squirrel, I got to protect my nuts, protect the bag, I've got to back it off. And FINRA did back off positions, by the way. But that's not, because it's emotionally uncomfortable, generally things that are emotionally comfortable cost you money. Generally in trading, things that are emotionally uncomfortable make you money. And that's just the way it is. It kind of sucks to trade, which is why I advocate having a computer do it for you, because the emotional stuff. Yeah, you want to, as far as possible, you want to be working on statistics and not opinions. And, as far as possible, generally a good idea. Perry, the future is bot wars. The present is bot wars, man. So If you're trading very, very edges that move up and down fast and disappear and vanish straight away. Like I can bring up a Binance chart of some illiquid shitcoin and I can show you there'll be edges kicking off like during the call, but there'll be like 2 ticks in them. They'll be gone in 5 seconds. Other people are getting those. You don't want to play those games. The trend is a beautiful edge because it takes 2 weeks to go from really strong edge to a coin flip. That 2 weeks gives us a lot of flexibility. We don't have to be that good, which is why we're competitive, right? If we were playing a game that I had to be better than the best guys in the world, if I had to be better than Citadel, I couldn't play that game because they're better than me. Of course they're better than me. There's like 1,000 guys working for them. They've all got maths PhDs and they all won like fucking maths competitions in China before they even fucking got there. Like they're just smarter and better than us, and they got more money than us too, and they've got like all the best help, and like you just don't want to play competitive games. So there's 2 ways you can play uncompetitive games. One is you can get slow converging features, slow converging edges. The other is you can play your games in places where other people are too pussy to stick their toe in the water. Citadel doesn't have a crypto division because they're worried about counterparty risk. Their pussiness is our opportunity, and those are the only opportunities we have. Like cards on the table. I'm an okay algo trader. I'm a pretty good trading system designer. Am I better than those guys? Fucking not even close. You know, James was a quant for BlackRock. Like he fucking great, but he doesn't compete against those guys. Let me, I could show you James's trend system. It's a lot less sophisticated than ours. In his personal account, he runs FinRev Silver. Like FinRev Silver is James's personal system, and it's a lot less sophisticated, but it works. Ideally, you want an edge that's so strong that you can trade it with a potato. Really. Yeah. Don't sleep on Retardio, fucking Citadel pussies. Future money. Future money. And fucking Tremp coin. What about Tremp?
Yeah.
Do not fumble the Tremp bag. I'm not selling anything out. I'm going to sell out into the election. This one. You're going to buy me a fucking house. I swear to God. It's such a... In retrospect, Dolan Tremp flipping Geo Bowden, which is already at 600 mil market cap, it's so obvious, right?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that was
so obvious. And Dolan Tremp versus Joe Bowden heading into an election cycle, like it's such an obvious play, guys. So obvious.
Nice.
I know a bunch of quants and fund managers, and they are very scared of Delta One. So what they do is they mostly hedge their spot bags by going short the futures, so they're not taking directional risk. For example, the ENA trade that I posted on Sunday is because a hedge fund guy that I know was freaking out because he owns ENA. And he hedges it by earning the carry on it, which was like earning him 70% a year or something. And then it flipped to negative 375% a year. And he was freaking me out. And we have a group chat about this shit for pros. That's how I knew that when the funding flipped, it's a good time to get long. Yeah, Trump is endorsing crypto. Trump is going like I think he's an asshole, but he damn sure going to be in the news for a lot.
Definitely. Yep.
He can talk. He can talk. All right, guys. So let's move on. Maurizio, what do you like?
Sure. All right. Well, I was looking last week. I was looking at Link. Let me just share my screen. Stuff that I was looking at. Where's my trading? Stuff that I was looking at. I'm still like biased in terms of this new the RWA's narrative. So Link actually got into the action a little bit, and
yeah, strong move.
Yeah, so very, very strong move due to that. And I was planning to actually get into on Friday, but yeah, it's not about it. Like, it hasn't dropped much, to be honest. It's a lot of like sort of fear around it, but then you can actually, this chart looks really, really, really good. ATR looks really good. Hasn't, like, no one is selling essentially from the from when the news were released, like that were on, I think the news were released here on this day, so that's why we got that jump. And then still continue move on. So I like that one. I like Token within the same relative, sort of the same narrative.
No, I don't
so
know.
I like this one.
What is Token?
Token is another it's another what is it, RWA platform, like asset tokenization platform. So it's a bunch of, and Link just the only reason Link actually got signed up live is because they now joined the party and going to start doing some testing RWA stuff. So I think that's the new thing. Like, AI is already sort of losing a little bit of momentum. So if we go through all the AI stuff, like this is RNDR, so you gotta, yeah, it's not like, it's just steady right there, right? Ocean sort of in the same range, NMR sort of the same range, GRT.
They all look the same. Are these all dinosaur coins?
No, all this stuff is kind of some of them are dinosaur, like GRT, but RNDR was a dinosaur coin that actually transitioned into AI. So obviously, this is sort of like AI things, right? Fed. So everything's sort of in a range. So what I think could be a good
volatility is
play.
still going down.
Yes.
The trick with these coins is you want to wait for volatility to uptick before you ape in.
So I'm still sort of looking to get into those anyway, but yeah, I've been tracking, Token for a while. But bear in mind, this is DWF is has his hands on this one, so it can get at least to up to these highs, and then let's see what happens afterwards. But more than likely, I'll be looking into getting into this one. Link as well. In the same aspect, we have RSR. RSI is another RWA stuff. Let me just, which is basically following the same what Link is doing. So what I've seen is that,
so this one has the volatility ticking up. Like, this is the first one we've seen that looks really interesting. I'd want to buy it on a pullback.
Yep, me too. So I'm following that one. So those are my plays for this week, perhaps, because I can actually see that can actually just,
What about
jump.
Fed you were talking about last week? I thought,
which one?
Sorry, AR Weave.
Oh yeah, man. I was that one actually got all-time highs now. All-time highs now.
Have we launched the alert on this?
No, we didn't. No, we did not.
Okay, so we gotta buy this fucker. That's the best. That's the best chart in AI coins.
Yeah.
Low declining volatility. Can you change that ATR to ATR percent for a sec, please?
Sure. Let me look at the daily.
Okay, so you can see the ATR percent is giving you a very, very different view than ATR. Why is that? Because the price has gone up so much, it's distorting the view of ATR, making it look like it's going down in volatility when you eyeball it and you go, well, that's not going down in volatility, it's going up in volatility. What the fuck? So we have rising volatility. Now, I want you to zoom in on the last, I think this is a teachable moment, zoom in on the last week before it broke out. See how 2 weeks ago we had down, 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 up, down, 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 up, down, down, up. And the last week it started to get in gear, right?
Mm-hmm.
The last week, like from the 13th.
On the 12th of April, that looks like a double tweezer bottom, which is a reversal pattern.
That's a beautiful bottoming signal. Beautiful, because it's what it tells you is that we had a crash that pushed the market down from fair value, and that smart people immediately bought that, and then it retested, and it was off to the races from about $22 ish, doubled since then. Well, we missed that one, but this is the first out of the gates. This is This is a must-have.
Yeah, that was yeah, I was paying close attention to this one, but yeah, missed it out completely.
Ian, can we issue an alert on ARWeave? I'm going to go buy some of this fucker for myself too.
Yep.
It looks pretty good. Like this thing looks really, really strong in terms of all the AI moves. This is going to be, yeah, it's already breaking out. So now it's going to enter the discovery price and yeah, it's going to go weak. In terms of meme coins, I'm still looking into Foxy. I really like this is really like in
What's the
terms of all
liquidity
this.
like? That's a good chart.
This is a good chart, very low liquidity and market cap. But the thing though is the amount of stuff that they do in
listed on
airdrops.
Bybit.
It is. It is. Oh yeah, this one is like this one is listed across most of the exchanges yet, and the stuff that they're going to do in terms of airdrops, I think is going to be interesting, and yeah, this could be a really like from the meme
What about
stuff.
the hyperliquid meme coin you were talking about? I think that's really good.
That's going well. Let me have a look. I haven't looked at it for a while. I haven't sold it yet. Because by the way, if
How
you
do you
trade on
get it? Because I've got a bunch of hyperliquid points, but I haven't seen it in my. Like I traded
that
motherfucker.
Yeah. So the way that you let me get back to this. So PER has been issued to people that have been trading in Hyperliquid for a while, and this is sort of like an airdrop coin that if you're trading Hyperliquid, they reward you with the amount of tokens on PER according to your trading volume. Okay, so that's the first airdrop that they release, and this is the first sort of meme coin that they're doing in the spot because they didn't have a spot market. They only had derivatives. Now,
so how do you see where you have it? Because I've been trading like from the very week, like you and I were both trading from the week they opened.
Yeah, so you should have received the PER should be on your balances on coins right here. So it's not in this.
Sorry, where should it be?
In your balances. So you should have balance here. It should show up automatically. Like you shouldn't have not like you don't need to do anything else.
Mine doesn't, but I also but I only trade perps. So is there some like switch to spot or something like that?
Yeah, it should be. You should go back to spot. Like now you have.
How do I get a spot?
It should be a tab that it showed the switch to a spot and perp. Let me just log into my other account because this one, because it's my demo, I'm on my stuff. Let me just log in. I'll show you. Give me 1 second. And in terms of points, before I log in terms of points, then you're gonna have points here. Yeah. And the more you trade, the more points you accumulate. And when the airdrops are going to be released, which you don't know when it's going to happen. It could be in about 2, 3, 4 months, whenever the team decides when, then they're going to acquire your points and they're going to be translated into some sort of airdrop. And
if I'm Diamond League, I've got 7,000 points, right?
Yeah, so if you keep trading, right, obviously you acquire more points and that's going to be translated on an airdrop. It could be on another coin or it could be as a liquidity or stuff like that. They haven't decided how they're going to release airdrops in the future, but that's kind of the thing about Hyperliquid.
How is it that I've got no PER though? That's kind of weird.
You should. Let me just log into my. Give me 1 second because I had like 3 accounts. Give me 1 second and I'll log into my other one. And so.
Sorry for hijacking the call.
You should have a boatload.
Got select trade and balances. I've got USDC perps. No, that's it.
Is that the account that? Yeah, you should have received the PER token.
I'll reach out to them.
No problem. Okay.
I won't hijack the call here.
No worries. All right, let me just get back to this thing. So give me 1 second. Let me just get back to sharing.
Was it worth doing? Was it like a percent thing or was it?
Oh yeah, it was definitely good amount of PER that I received. So I was trading different accounts and when
because I traded one of the right?
Yeah, definitely. pips more, man. And I was doing the dirty carry on this one, and not a lot of volume. I'm still receiving quite a bit. So I sort of received pretty much the same amount that I was trading on. The same because I didn't do much volume, only the dirty carry stuff with no leverage. And yeah, the pair was released here, like this coin was released here, and now it's like 50% more. So, but the reason why I haven't sold it yet, right, is because if you keep holding this, and once you get your points and stuff like that, you're gonna get more points because you still have the pair.
Dude, look at the volume there. All the people who got it who were going to sell out as soon as that selling has died down.
Yep.
That's one you want to hold, dude. This is it's a banger.
Yeah. You can still buy it. You can buy it, right? I'm not a friend that, he bought it here, roughly about here, because this one has, and like I said, you can actually buy it. You don't need to have the airdrop. This is a real, like a real coin, but have in mind, this is only on Hyperliquid sort of stuff. So still, it's the only exchange that you can actually exchange it on. So yeah, and the reason why it's not going down, because there is this, it hasn't been confirmed, but it's this thing that if you hold this and you keep trading, your airdrop is going to be substantially bigger than a regular airdrop if you hold per, basically. So that's what I mean in terms of what we talked about last time, Scott, in terms of all these meme coins, they're becoming liquidity pools for these things. All right. So there is a lot of memes that have been translated into liquidity stuff for the exchanges. And it's an interesting, it's quite interesting in a way. You know what I mean? We haven't seen that in a way. Meme coins before were a different cattle fish, but now it's become sort of a way to attract. It's like your the way that you get people into these exchanges or stuff like that in order to get liquidity. So that's an interesting. It's like the same thing as airdrops. The airdrops now is like, that's how a project is actually launched. That's like the common ground of it. So I think the airdrops that are coming this year is going to be huge, man. Huge. Is that going to be sustainable for the next years? I don't think so. But I think for at least this year, when we have the bull run happening, I think it's going to be a really, really interesting thing happening in the airdrop things. So yeah, that's about this. In terms of things that I was looking at it, yeah, those are my favorites, at least for this week. Yeah, keep an eye on token. Still, because it has a good potential to the upside, and the fact that RWS is just gaining traction, I think that could be a good play. In terms of memes, yeah, Foxy, Brett still looking into it. Had a pretty good recovery, so this one could actually, broke highs here. So still, I think this one could be a really good play. In terms of Pepe, let's have a look at it. Yeah, not bad.
That's just normal. That's just normal at all-time highs, right? I got stopped out of whiff, by the way.
Did you? Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, we've definitely didn't hold, but
Ian, you mark that down on the sheet. We got stopped out there.
I'll make a note. Yep, no worries. Cool. All right. So yeah, that's pretty much. Another one that I'm looking at is I'm having this section here of new airdrops. So this is all new airdrop tokens that have been released. And usually what happens with this stuff is that at some point, so the psychology of airdrops is people receive the airdrops and the immediate thing that they're going to do is sell it. That's why you see this huge wick down, right? Like that's kind of, you get your airdrop and you sell it. But that doesn't mean the project is bad, and that doesn't mean the project is gonna die. Depends on the project itself, right? This could start gaining some traction. So what I'm looking on these ones, and I'll be adding more stuff here. That's why we got into W a couple of weeks back. But so what I'm looking is to see the behavior of people stop selling. You know what I mean? Once you stop selling, then you more than likely is going to get the bottom out. And then once the new liquidity comes in, then you're going to expect a huge jump out of it. How far? That's the trick. It depends on the project. But with that being said, my favorite is Mode. So Mode, very, very interesting project that is going on right now. Obviously, it was airdrop coin as well. So I'm just sort of tracking this one closely because it was sort of like an influx of liquidity right here. And I think that could be a good level to actually start positioning ourselves on this one. And this could be a really, really good project to go into. So yeah, I'll be adding some more interesting airdrops here. So yeah, those are my takes for this week. I'll keep adding more during the week.
Okay, this is very interesting. Different to me. So you guys right for me to go?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. So this is should I get solving this as well. So this is the total crypto market cap out without Bitcoin, without Ethereum, without XRP, without Solana, without stable coins. So this is basically what the altcoin market is when you take Bitcoin out of, when you take the Bitcoins out of, because the Bitcoins are distorting our view here, right? We really have very clean shit happening here. You can make a view that we do this. You can make a view that we go down a bit and do this. You can make a view that we go up and straight up from here. The closer this triangle, and a triangle isn't magic. It's not like, oh, wow, you've discovered a fucking triangle, you imbecile. A triangle is a function, is a trading range with decreased volatility. Decreased volatility means the candle sizes get smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. It wiggles less and less. And that's why it creates a triangle shape. It's not because there's some fucking Fibonacci magic or some inherent magic about the triangle pattern. The thing is, if things were inherently bullish, like if we were going to balls out straight up, it would have broken out early. If we were going to balls out straight down, it would have broken out to the downside early. We've done none of those things. What the market is telling us is that it's relatively fairly valued. That's what the market is telling us. And the market is really telling us that we got a little bit high on our own supply here, got a little bit scared, and the fair value is somewhere in between. The fair value is probably right now about where we were in, the start of March. It's okay, things are looking bright. Have we got anything to interrupt the bull market? Not so for me. That looks like a pretty normal, that looks like a pretty good bull market to me. We're at the 20th of May, and it looks likely that we'll be painting an inside month. This inside month is going to be the big deal.
Mm-hmm.
So when we break out of that range, one way or the other, this is when we should see exponential growth. But like I've been talking about lately, the time to bet is not when it's already certain. The time to bet is when, I don't know, we're still in a trading range, but it's a bull market. You know what I mean? The time to bet is when everything's really uncertain and we're at low volatilities. We're almost at the same sort of low volatility we were before it kicked off. We're never going to get back to this. But I think just, gut call, I think we might fuck around a bit till we get to here. I think the bottom is in. I think it's a bull market. I think looking back, 2 months of sideways after 6 months of up, that's about right. It's about right. And the longer it goes sideways, the further and longer and faster it's going to go up. I think that's the basic thing. What are we seeing off the lows? So for a start, let's go back to this and look at some dates. So this is the big low at 11th of April, and this is the second low at the start of May. So let's look at what's been strongest since the start of May. And I just scroll my cursor to here. Bitcoin is the dark blue line. So what are we seeing? We're seeing about half, probably only 30% of coins outperforming. Are we seeing garbage floating to the surface, Maurizio, or are we seeing the good stuff floating to the surface?
A mix of everything, and especially things that I've seen is the new stuff is actually going to the surface first. All the new, like most of them, a lot of the new projects.
Okay, so let's talk about that. Give me some new projects that we can whack in the mix here.
Ina, Pendle, Sui.
So Ina, Pendle, and Sui are down the list. Let me add Sui. So, have a look at Sui.
And probably add some of the AI stuff like just 1 second. Fed, Phoenix,
How do I spell PHX?
PHB.
Ooh.
Mm.
Ooh. What else do you want me to add in? Let me add some more for you.
Yep. Jupe, GTO, Ray, JTO, sorry. Yeah.
Ray?
Yep.
What else?
Let's go to AR. Airwave. Do you have Airwave there? AR.
Wow. Okay. So very smart, Maurizio. So what we're seeing is new outperforming old. We're seeing some of the old favorites, like the blue, like Rune, Sol, Link, Render, blue chips. Some of the new ones underperforming. My hottest pick, Ina, has just been an absolute fucking piece of dog shit. This is my literal biggest position. So it shows you how much I know. And I went leveraged long again yesterday. I think if we get this, that's the completed retest. I think. So
but think about Ina as well as an airdrop coin from that perspective, okay? Because it's a lot of airdrops and all the stuff that's happening around Ina and USD, the USDE and the staking and all that sort of stuff is paid on points that it translates into Ina at some point, right? Like that's going to be the thing. So at the end of the day, that coin end up being as an airdrop. So it has the same behavior of an airdrop.
Ian, would you mind posting that spreadsheet for the position sizing in the chat? Sorry, continue, Maurizio, please.
Sure. So with that being said, that drop, it is healthy in a way. You know what I mean? It is part of what an airdrop coin should look like in a way. So I think we're bottoming out and it's not a bad idea to start positioning again, and you can even actually stake on that perspective. So I think that is a good level to, like, right now. It's not about, yeah, it's looking good. It's definitely looking good. Like, you can actually see that the selling has stopped in a way.
Right. I think this AR weave is a must hold coin. I think that's a phenomenal find, man. So overall, what are we seeing? We're seeing a broad-based rally, mix of very different things. We're not seeing any one sector dominate. With some level ones, there's some AR coins, there's some new shit, there's some old shit, there's some meme shit. Do you think the meme sector has another day in the sun?
That's what I mean in terms of, I think the psychology is changing a little bit in terms of how people are perceiving meme stuff, and they now start seeing it as a liquidity
it's
catch.
Liquidity
catch. Yeah. With that being said, I think that could hold. So, you know what I mean? From that perspective, it will not drop like in previous stuff, right?
What I'm seeing is that I think the pump.fun, like just pick the name that, oh, that's a cool name, it's going to go up today. I think that stuff is probably pretty lame and stupid, and like you shouldn't, like, I don't know, like Antoine makes heaps of money doing it, but I don't know if I'd do it. I think the mid-level between, this is a perfect example. There's $2.5 million worth of liquidity. There's $101 million market cap. Wish you could short these things.
I know, I know. I was just thinking about the same thing, man. Like, you get like because that will be the good play.
By the way, it's an important principle that the amount of edge that you find is directly in proportion to how hard it is to monetize. So there are, if you look at micro cap, like small cap mining shares, or micro cap anything, or very micro cap crypto, you'll do some data analysis. You find edges everywhere, but you'll also find the transaction costs and spreads beat the fuck out of that. And this was actually our old Holy Grail scalping system. This was the problem with it. It's like, it was an incredibly strong and smooth edge forever. Like this is the results for fucking years and years and years. Where is it? Oh, here we go. Those are results before transaction costs, but after transaction costs ate about 40% of it, and as soon as you try and scale this up to making any real money, it fell apart. And this is, there's no way that a retail guy like me back then, this is me 10 years ago, I wasn't that good, should be finding an equity curve like this. But you can find stuff that's very difficult to monetize, or you can monetize if you're playing where your size isn't size. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So what do we think here? What should we be doing? I think you should be chilling in spot in the strongest coins. I think you should be holding I think the portfolio that worked best for the first bit of the cycle was Bitcoin plus a barbell portfolio of memes on the edges, like 80% Bitcoin, 20% memes. I don't think I can't see lightning striking twice there. I can see memes being a really strong sector, but I think the ones that are already established, that are ready to jump the shark into major exchanges, the cocky news, the ones with the strong communities, the cocky news, the tramps, the ones that are almost there, not the ones that are like okay, let's look at this guy is the hero of Solana's cycle, right? He's a good trader, actually. He's a nice kid. But if you look at any tweet of his, there'll be a bunch of simps saying, buy this transom. You don't want Bill Clinton. This stupid. Everyone's posting their stupid memes in the chat. None of these are even funny. Like none of these are like anything that's derivative of something else. Fuck all that shit off. You know, you want the OG. You know, I had a mate of mine telling me, you know, cock Inu's good, but what about black cock? Get it? Oh, the black cock's bigger. Like, dude, that shit just not gonna work, man. Like that's just not how this shit works. You know, it's yeah. Oh, let's take a quick look at Woo, because it's been fucking disappointing. Ian, you got any points on Woo?
Yeah, I tried to this might be a teachable moment. I tried to nab some cheap Woo, and I think I made the mistake of going for a whole number. I picked like 25 cents, and it missed it by the width of a pubic hair. So I'm thinking maybe that when I like, you know, 25 cents, maybe I'll put 25 cents and then some random kind of number after that, you know, rather than this whole number business. But
yeah, that's a beginner error, dude. That's a beginner error.
Yeah.
And do you know how I want you to remember this in the future?
Go on.
Don't be a dick for a tick.
Oh yeah. I still was.
You've just been a dick for a tick.
Absolutely. But the trouble is I haven't really got much evidence to back this up. I still think that there is a chance that a lot of these coins can be picked up
if you look at
cheaper.
Let's look at some June dashboards on Woo. That's a good.
Well, here's an interesting one with Woo, Scott, right? I missed that entry at 25. And then what I didn't do was just ape in because it was going up. I don't think I've missed the boat on Woo. I still think there's a chance that there'll be some liquidity grabs and I can pick it up for, I got orders in at 20, well, it was 25, 24, 23, 22, like that. But I might go and make them a bit more funky.
Yeah. Where is the transparency dashboard? The log. Total assets 276. It's been growing much. Because when they had the FUD, they were about the same. They were about 300. Yeah, I want to do some more research on how fast. I mean, this is a function of how fast their exchange is growing, right? Yeah, I think we want to do. I think we want to do a bit more research, guys. What are the OG coins that we should be holding? The only OG coin. Look, I think everyone hates Ethereum so much that it's probably ready to surprise everyone. But Ethereum is such a low beta thing that it's capital inefficient for you guys to hold. So I would only do that on leverage. I think Doge is a natural thing, but I think there's faster horses in the meme coin race. I think Pepe is the standout meme that's at a lower market cap than it should be. I think you look in the meme space, you want things that aren't going to die, that are easy for normies to understand. And I think Pepe is especially in an election year with all those Trump morons coming online, they'll be super online coming into November, and they're all going, you know, yeah, I think. I think WIF is very highly valued for what it is. Like it's probably going to go further. I think WIF is one that you'd probably want to hold in a portfolio. I think PopCat is interesting. What do you guys think of Morg?
Yeah, which one?
Morg.
Morg.
It's the VC. It's the VC meme coin. James, I'm not as big on Bonk. Like, there's nothing wrong with it. It just yeah, I'm just not as big on it. Yeah, Morg I'm either way on. But I think PopCat is really good. It's a meme that's relatable. It's a coin. It's a cat going.
Interesting. Yeah, I have to look into Morg. I haven't. Yeah, I haven't actually looked into that one before. So,
guys, pretty cool call today. I think we looked at a lot. Okay. Before we go, let's look quickly at Sol, because it's looking great. It's looking like. I mean, even today when we had a down day, that's not a particularly better thing. That's just like big, strong kickoffs, slightly running out of puck, not slightly medium, small, natural thing. This is going to be a monster this cycle, dude. I'm holding my leverage long. It's going to go nuts. The volatility is still low. You know, when do you want to sell out? When volatility starts to look high. Not that hard, right? Make sense, guys?
Yep, definitely.
Anything else you want to add, guys, before we?
Yeah, all good.
Nice. That trade alert for AR is out. Everybody just, there's the link. It's in the group. That'll go to the trade log. That was an absolute banger. See everybody.
Beautiful.
Ta-da.
Thank you.
Bye, guys. Have a good one.